Hi again then guys, and welcome to yet another straight line speed build for long distance drag races, top speed events, that kind of thing. And this time it's for a very popular supercar, in particular on Gran Turismo 6, a really good one, especially for its power. Not quite as powerful now and not quite as fast, but still very quick, and actually very quick for its power. It's got quite a lot less power than some of the other supercars in the game, but it's still more than capable enough. I've given them a great run for their money in a straight line, and it is of course the Ford GT. Now I'd recommend fully upgrading both the power and the weight, for pretty obvious reasons, but of course you can adjust those if and when necessary. Traction control I've got turned off, but of course that's down to you. As far as tyres, I've gone for racing softs, for obvious reasons, get the maximum grip, but as far as top speed, it doesn't make too much of a difference if you do change them, so don't worry if you have to. Of course it makes more of a difference to low-end acceleration, and in particular to handling. Now, as far as the suspension, this will be optional down to you. If you're only going to use this as a speed build for the Lasart Straight, then I'd recommend doing what I've done. If you need it to have better handling as well, then I'd recommend having the front and rear the same on 95. If though you just want it for speed, I'd recommend increasing the front to 110. That doesn't increase your top speed per se, but it does help you to get there quicker. That in particular helps mid-range and top-end acceleration with pretty much any vehicle. Now as far as frequency, we've got that on 2, anti-roll on 5, compression on the dampers on 62, then 90 for the rebound. I've got no camber, perhaps surprisingly, no toe either. Downforce you can't adjust. As far as the diff, of course it will vary from person to person. I've got halfway on both initial torque and acceleration, and then as you can see all the way up to 60 for braking. As I said though, feel free to experiment with other ones, or if you already know what you prefer, by all means combine that with what I've done. And as far as the gearbox, of course the real way to get the speed out of the car, you want the fully customised transmission. The highest possible auto setting is what I'd recommend. Then some minor changes to the gears themselves. It's more so the final drive that we've made the bigger differences to. And as you can see, I've got 2.4, 1575, 1175, 910, 750 and 650 with a final drive that we've lowered to 3.1. Now as you can see from the mile per hour speeds that are quoted for each gear, 6th in particular is pretty huge. 320 miles per hour is maybe potentially possible in a vacuum with that amount of power, 836, but in reality, well, of course not. However, it certainly isn't slow, so let's, speaking of its performance, take it out to Le Mans to see exactly how quick it can go. Now incidentally, for this tune I would recommend using a manual gearbox, and I usually don't mention that because most cars it doesn't matter too much, it's just down to personal preference, and I tend to use an auto myself because I'm lazy. However, with this car it doesn't really change up into 6th gear early enough to make full use of it. It tends to take too long and just bounce around on the red line. So I would recommend using manual. If you use the exact settings that I've got, I'd recommend changing up into 6th at about 238 miles per hour or so. But of course, it's down to you. Top end speed, as you can see from the title, from the thumbnail, is over 260. You can get it up just tapping 262, and you've still got room to grow there as far as the red line. So you can use it as a slipstream tune as well. Not sure what the slipstream speed would be, probably up around 270, but of course if you want to check out my other tunes as well, you can click through here to do that. And for now, that's it for this build, so I'll see you guys next time, and as always, thanks for watching.